All right, let's talk about a question that can get you a huge 12 marks on your GCSE paper. Yep, 12. And in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how you can nail every single one of those marks. So here's where it all starts. This one sentence is the whole setup. We're basically looking at the nasty stuff that comes out of a car's exhaust and, why we have to have rules about it. Okay, now here's the table with all the data. This is what you'll be working with for the first part of the question. I want you to look really closely at that carbon monoxide column. See that? The newer cars, the ones between 3 and 16 years old, they have a way stricter limit. That's a super important detail, so keep that in mind. All right, first things first. Let's dig into how these pollutants are even made. Like what's happening inside the car engine to create them. So here we go, question 07.1 for 2 marks. The key word to spot here is explain. Now, whenever you see explain, it's a big clue. It's not just asking what happens, it's asking for the scientific reason why it happens. And this is the golden ticket. This is exactly what the mark scheme is looking for. You see, just saying there isn't enough oxygen won't cut it. To get both marks, you've got to hit 2 points. First mark, use the proper scientific term, incomplete combustion. Second mark, explain what that means, an insufficient or limited supply of oxygen. It's all about being precise. Okay, next up. This one goes right back to that table we looked at. Remember how the limits were tighter for newer cars? Well, the question is, why? It's asking for 2 reasons, which means we need to give them 2 separate, clear points. And the cool thing here is you've got options. There isn't just one right answer. The mark scheme lists a bunch of things they'll accept. So you could talk about health, right? How carbon monoxide is poisonous. Or maybe you think about society. People are just more worried about pollution now. Or you could go techie and mention better engines or the invention of catalytic converters. Just pick any 2 from a list like this and you're golden. All right, now for unburned hydrocarbons. Look closely here. It's only 1 mark, and the word is give. That's your cue to be short and to the point. Just 1 clear reason. That's all they want. And again, look at the kind of answers that score the point. They're all about the impact, right? So you could mention health issues, maybe something specific like asthma, or you could talk about the bigger environmental picture, like global dimming or smog. Any one of those hits the nail on the head. Okay, last pollutant for this part, oxides of nitrogen. We're back to a 2 marker and check out the command word, describe. So this time they want us to paint a picture of the process, to say how it happens. And to get those 2 marks, you need to deliver 2 key pieces of information. For the first mark, you have to say what's reacting. That's the nitrogen and oxygen from the air. For the second mark, you need the how. What makes them react? And that's the super high temperature, or the spark, inside the engine. Reactants plus condition equals full marks. Okay, so we've covered the problem. We know how these nasty pollutants get made. Now for the really clever part, the solution. Let's talk about the catalytic converter. This next one is a little chemistry puzzle. It tests your knowledge of equations. We've got nitrogen dioxide on one side, and on the other, it's breaking down into oxygen plus, well, what? Your job is to fill in the blank and then make sure the whole thing is balanced. So how do you get both marks? It's a 2-step process. Step 1 for your first mark is just figuring out the missing product is plain old nitrogen gas, N2. Simple. Step 2 for the second mark is all about the balancing act. You need to stick a 2 in front of the NO2 and another 2 in front of the O2 to make it all add up. So all this chemistry, what's the point? What good do these things actually do? This question wants to know 2 real-world problems that are made better because of catalytic converters. And you guessed it, there's a list of great answers you can choose from. They fight the stuff that causes acid rain. They cut down on smog. And because they get rid of those harmful gases, they help with things like breathing problems. Pick any 2 of those, and the marks are yours. Okay, we're on the home stretch, the very last mark. This one is a bit of a general knowledge question about the periodic table. We know catalysts are special, so which group of elements are they famous for being in? Have a quick think about it. If you said transition metals, you are absolutely right. That's a classic property of that whole middle block of the periodic table. Think of elements like platinum, rhodium. They're amazing at being catalysts. So let's just pull all that together. What did we really learn here? It's not just about memorizing facts about pollution. The real skill is learning to read the question like a detective. You've got to spot those command words like explain, describe, give. Check how many marks are on offer, because that tells you how much to write.
And of course, use the right scientific terms. That's the formula for success. And that kind of leaves us with a pretty big idea, doesn't it? Catalytic converters are amazing. They helped fix a huge pollution problem and literally made the air we breathe cleaner. It just shows how powerful these things can be. So it makes you wonder, what's the next massive problem that some new catalyst, one that we haven't even discovered yet, could help us solve?